Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on the GeForce GTX 1060, 6GB for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam due to Battlelight, the anti-cheat software this game uses, so in the meantime I'll be using MSI Afterburner. And if you want to purchase any of the parts of this build and support the channel, there are Amazon affiliate links down in the description. So PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I'll be doing 1080p, 1440p and 4K, using both a G4560 and an i5-7400. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you the G4560 on 1080p, targeting both 30 and 60 frames per second, and after that I'll just show you the other resolutions plus 1080p on the i5-7400. You'll see a noticeable difference in stability. The game has more performance issues on the G4560, but that was to be expected, and at 4K I overclocked the GTX 1060, so keep that in mind. You can check the core memory clocks down in the description. And now I'm going to be talking to you about the options menu and what to tweak to get the best performance. So this game runs on Unreal Engine 4, but remember this game is in early access and a very early stage of development, so performance should improve and more features should be added. And in the options menu we got some options that I would like to talk about. All options go from very low to ultra. So first on anti-aliasing, it seems to be TAA. Everything that's not ultra or very low looks terrible. I don't know what's going on with that. It looks fuzzier in medium than on very low. And the most graphically intensive things I found were effects. Effects is a big hit to the frame rate. It seems to control the quality of some of the transparency effects, such as explosions and the reflections. For example, if you're close to a body of water, you'll see screen space reflections in some areas. If you turn this to low or very low, you get a great FPS boost in those moments. Shadows is also another one. If you use low or very low, there won't be dynamic shadows. All the dynamic shadows won't be there. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of shadows are missing, but there are still some every now and then. It's a big hit to the frame rate. And then others that you should lower in groups are post-processing and foliage. Foliage is the amount of foliage and its quality, and I'm not 100% sure about what post-processing does in this game, but I lowered it with foliage and I kept motion blur off on all instances. And for the textures, if you have a 2GB video card, I suggest using low. Every option over low, even at 720p, use more than 2 gigs of VRAM, so keep that in mind. If you have a 4GB card, you can use ultra just fine, but something to keep in mind. I tried a Pentium G4560 and an i5-7400 on all my videos, and I have to say, yes, the G4560 is a big limitation. The game stutters a lot more in the loading screens and when you're flying over the map with a plane, or just waiting on a lobby with all the 90 players punching each other or shooting each other. With i5 it happened much less, and on the open areas and cities and all that kind of stuff, the places I tested, so it was more CPU bound. The i5-7400 stutters much less than the G4560, and it was closer to 60 frames per second, but 60 frames per second all the time in this game seems impossible. I saw people with i7 6700K having issues getting 60 frames per second, even using a GTX 1070 or 1080. So it seems to be impossible right now to get 60 FPS all the time, but we can get very close with the i5-7400. With the G4560, it's way more unstable, so I suggest targeting 30 to 40 frames per second if possible, and the game will be better to play since it will be more consistent if you cap the frame rate at 40 or 30 with the G4560. People are talking awful things about the performance of this game. It's true, but it's not as bad as people say, at least not on my end. It's decent, but it's not unplayable. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.